Hey, what's up everybody, this is Charles and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Going into this season, LeBron thought he would be able to bring the best out of Russell Westbrook, right? I'm sure that's what LeBron James thought. Even after many of the top players in the NBA decided that Russell Westbrook is not the guy, you don't need to go too far in thinking of Kevin Durant. Remember, Kevin Durant was playing with Russell Westbrook. They were teammates for 8 years. After 8 years, KD was like, I've seen enough. I'm going to go play with the Warriors. Then he had the situation with Paul George. Paul George, after I believe it was, 2 seasons in OKC, he ran away. Then, of course, you had Kawhi Leonard. There was a story about Kawhi Leonard not picking up Russell Westbrook's call. Kawhi looked at Russell Westbrook, looked at his track record and said, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to win with this guy. I'm running away from Russell Westbrook. So you had these top players like Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard. These guys realized that they just couldn't win with him, so they turned him down. Now, LeBron James, nevertheless, I think he felt as if he could make it work. Right? I felt like LeBron said, okay, this guy is the all-time leader in triple doubles. So there has to be a way for the two of us to be able to mesh our games together. And given the fact that I think that the Lakers overreacted to what the Brooklyn Nets were doing, given the fact that they had a three-headed monster in Brooklyn with Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden, I think the Lakers figured that the only way that they were going to be able to compete with the Brooklyn Nets was through star power. So they went ahead and pulled the trigger on that trade, sending some of their younger players to the Washington Wizards, like Kyle Kuzma, who's been playing well with the Washington Wizards. Of course, you have a KCP who's there, who just recently got into a fight with another former Laker in Montrezl Harrell. You heard about the story between the two of them. So those guys ended up going to the Washington Wizards in return for Russell Westbrook. And after 41 games played this season, the Lakers, which is the midpoint of the season, exactly the midpoint of the season, the Lakers currently have a 21-20 record, which is basically, essentially, a 500 record. The Lakers at this point are pretty much a 500 ball club. And I think the Lakers and LeBron have gotten to the point where they've finally seen enough. I think they've realized that, listen, 40 games in, we can't use the same excuses that we were using 20 games ago, which was, oh, let's give it time. It's too early. Let's see, are we really going to judge this team now? Is this a playoff team? Well, first of all, the Lakers are currently the number 7 seed in the Western Conference, right? So even if they did get into the playoffs, there's no way, as currently constructed, I see them toppling the top 4 seeds in the Western Conference, which are currently the Golden State Warriors. Don't even think about looking at the Warriors. Then, of course, I think you have, the Phoenix Suns. I think the Utah Jazz may be number 3. Then, of course, you have the Memphis Grizzlies, who are currently the number 4 seed, who just came off a very impressive win against the Golden State Warriors yesterday. So basically what's happening now is that sources are beginning to reveal some of the players that the Lakers are secretly going after in a potential trade during before the trade deadline, which is coming up quickly. I think that the trade deadline is sometime in March or whatever it is, around All-Star break, right? So I got this article here from marca.com. You guys can go hunt it down if you want to read it for yourself. And basically the article starts off with the headline: the double signing that LeBron James and the Lakers are seeking in their push for the NBA titles. The article continues on: the Los Angeles Lakers have endured a much more arduous season they're used to in the NBA, sitting 7th in the Western Conference. A record of 21-20 is far from what the star man LeBron James is used to, and the Lakers are looking to invest in some new talent. Miles Turner of the Indiana Pacers was one on their short list, with the center in fine form despite the Pacers sitting at the 13th seed in the Eastern Conference. The second signing the Lakers hope to make is from the Detroit Pistons ace Jeremy Grant. The Pistons are having an equally poor season to the Pacers, lying right beneath the Indiana Pacers, but they both possess players who could be lining up alongside LeBron James very soon. The Lakers' most recent defeat to the Memphis Grizzlies has sped up the need for reinforcements, and they hope to complete the 2 deals sooner rather than later. So according to this report here from marca.com, it seems as if that the Lakers have realized that it's time to move on. Here's what I think about this entire situation. I think the Lakers are looking to get younger and more athletic. This is something that I proposed probably a few weeks ago when I was talking about trade Russell Westbrook. Some people out there talking, oh, give it time. Okay, well, you've had half of a season, right? It's enough time. Do you need any more time? Anything else you want to see? Anything else you're waiting to see happen? I think that and I said it then, I said that the Lakers, they needed to get younger. The Lakers needed to get younger and they needed to get more athletic wing defenders. The Lakers this season are struggling. I think they're in the middle. They're the middle of the pack team on defense. They're not a very good defensive team. I think they needed to get younger. They needed to get guys that can switch on the defensive side of the floor, guys that could also recover, especially if they're beaten, and get back to the basket, protect the rim. They needed these type of players so LeBron James, in my personal opinion, can focus on facilitating the offense a little bit more, which is one of his strong points, and at the same time, continue to score the ball, which he's doing at a historic rate given his advanced age. If you just look at Russell Westbrook this season, right, minus all of the nonsense, Russell Westbrook is averaging 19 points per game, which is okay, which is fine, right? The issue is he's only shooting 44% from the field. He's shooting less than 30% from the three. What does that mean to basketball people that watch basketball? It basically means that this guy provides no spacing on the floor whatsoever. Then when you foul him, because I don't even want to get into the advanced statistics, looking at different different points on the floor, like 3 to 10 feet, 10 to 6. I don't even want to get into that. Essentially, he's shooting 30% from the three-point line, and I'm assuming the number gets worse the further away he goes from the basket. Obviously, hence when he gets to the three-point line, he's shooting 30%. He's also a 65% free throw shooter, which is abysmal. Which means that if you put Russell Westbrook and you foul him and you put him on the free throw line, he's going to go up there and only make 60% of his free throws, which is not good from your point guard. Usually, LeBron James is at his best when he's playing with perimeter players that can knock down shots that allow him to really facilitate the ball, get into the paint, and wreak havoc. That's usually been his recipe for success. Anthony Davis is a drifter. He likes to drift out to the perimeter. He doesn't like to pack the paint and really clog up the paint. And when you have Russell Westbrook on the floor, there's no spacing. And if there's no spacing, you have issues because LeBron is not a great shooter, right? And LeBron is busy facilitating the offense. You can't have your point guard also become your best shooter. And I think LeBron is at his best when he's a playmaker. And I think if the Lakers are able to pull off these particular moves here, I think they're going to be in a much better spot. However, there's one contingent. And what's that contingent? That contingent is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis this year has been a disappointment. Even when he was there, he's been a disappointment. He has been regressing since his debut with the Los Angeles Lakers 2 seasons ago. His first year with the Lakers, he was sensational, and I thought that Anthony Davis should have won the Defensive Player of the Year. Some people were even saying that he should have been the Finals MVP. Anthony Davis was sensational his first year with the Lakers. Since then, he has been on the decline. But for all of this to work and the Lakers to trade away their third star, that means Anthony Davis needs to step up. And when he comes back, I think Anthony Davis needs to be a 20-10 guy. And he needs to be a little bit more reliable on that, a little bit more durable, right? You can't have him for 10 games, then he's gone for 2 games. He needs to be there because I think the Lakers are trying to go back to what worked in the past, their old recipe, and I think they're trying to recapture the magic that they had 2 years ago, no pun intended, in Orlando, right? I think if they're able to do that, things may change for the better. Because LeBron is still LeBron, Anthony Davis is still a top 5 talent in the NBA, but AD would need to step up. And nevertheless, it doesn't mean that these trades are going to happen because Russell Westbrook does have a very complicated contract. He's being paid $44 million this year, and next year he's being owed $47 million. Think about that. Somebody agreed to pay Russell Westbrook $47 million. So it's not like it's this is going to happen, but for now, these are what the reports are saying. And the question to you guys is, number one, what do you think about this trade scenario that the Lakers are possibly pursuing according to market.com? And number two, do you think that when Anthony Davis comes back, he's going to be a dominant big? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.